Man, it doesn't matter what the comrades say. The truth of the matter is that there is no accountability for the comrades in this country. There is no accountability for the comrades in South Africa. And this right here, it is a perfect example showing us that in this country we have two sets of systems. We have a system for the comrades and we have a system for average South Africans. And fortunately for the comrades, their system does not hold them accountable. It doesn't matter what the comrades do. They will never be held accountable. And when I say it doesn't matter, I mean it literally. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter how many people die in the process. It doesn't matter what they steal. It doesn't matter what people lose. They will never be held accountable. But unfortunately, for average South Africans, the book will always be thrown at you. The book will always be thrown at you. I mean, just sit down and think about the things that the comrades have committed in this country and think about how many comrades were actually held accountable for their actions. People died in Life Esidimeni because the comrades were conducting funny business there. People died in Life Esidimeni. Right now, as we speak, the people are dying in our public hospitals because they are underfunded. Right now, as we speak, the country is under siege. The people are being attacked in their homes by the people that they cannot even understand when they speak because the comrades have actually allowed the borders to be open. Now, the citizens are paying for it. It doesn't matter if the children are dying in the pit toilets and the money that was supposed to build the comrades, the toilets, was squandered by the comrades. It doesn't matter. Nobody will be held accountable. It doesn't matter that in 2025, people are dying of cholera because the money that is supposed to build the water treatment systems has been squandered by the politicians, and now the people are paying the price. They will never be held accountable. They will never be held accountable. But you, as an average South African, if you dare try to do what these people are doing, the book will be thrown at you. And this is the reason why many people are so frustrated with these two sets of systems that we are living with in this country. And it is sad because the people that are paying the salaries of these comrades are the ones that are faced with the music whenever they are found with any wrongdoing. But the comrades that are accountable to the people are never held accountable. This is so sad, man. This is so sad. So, you remember, guys, there was a South African police VIP protection of Paul Mashatile that actually beat up people in the roads. So, those people were recently acquitted of assault by the South African Police Service. So, the South African Police Service is telling us that these people are not guilty of anything. You remember this video that actually went viral of this VIP protection team of Paul Mashatile assaulting the people? You remember this video, guys?
Oh my gosh. Honey, look what's happening.
Just look at how these people are beating up this person. And the report from the South African Police Service comes out to say that no, these people are not guilty of any assault. They are not guilty of any assault.
Lord, come on!
Just look at them, guys. They are brandishing guns. They are brandishing guns and they are beating up people. And you remember the deputy president saying that, no, I was nowhere, no, I was nowhere. Only the reports came out saying that Paul Mashatile was there in one of the cars. He was there in one of the cars. But he tried to make the people of this country to actually believe that he was never there. No, I was never there. Those people, they acted on their own accord. And we later found out that Mashatile was allegedly in one of those cars. This is how those people actually beat up those people in the roads.
Oh my gosh. Honey, look what's happening here. Lord, come on!
Now you know what they did? They disturbed them. This ones they can kill you. This ones they will kill you. I don't know, like cops, these ones. You see? Is this one going to raise up now?
He's fainted.
And this is a guy who actually wants to be the president of this country. This is a guy who wants to be the president of the ANC. And this is how he acts now as the deputy president of this country. Can you just imagine if Paul Mashatile becomes the president of the country? Can you just imagine what is going to happen? Because this is not the first time that people are complaining of Paul Mashatile. I remember there was a video again that actually went viral on social media showing the motorcade of Paul Mashatile driving on oncoming traffic. And the people from that traffic were supposed to make way for Paul Mashatile to come this way. So Paul Mashatile doesn't matter that the cars that he's facing are coming against him. No, those cars that they will have to go on the side so that his convoy can pass. So this article says that Mashatile's VIP protection officers acquitted of assault by the police. I mean, like, guys, this is shameless, man. This is shameless. The 8 South African Police Service members of the Deputy President Paul Mashatile's VIP Presidential Protection Unit have reportedly been acquitted by the police. Shadrach Kwajana, Johannes Matome, Posmo Joseph, Hamanas Madumecha, Phineas Bushielo, Churchill Mkize, and Lisiba Ramabodu and Moses Fatuani are currently out on 10,000 rand bail each. The suspects are facing 12 charges, including pointing a firearm, reckless and negligent driving, malicious damage to property, assault with the intent to cause grievous bodily harm, obstruction of justice, and assault by the way of a threat. These are the people. These are the people. And I think at this point, man, we just have to understand that this is how South Africa is run. And as much as we wanted these people to be held accountable, I think we as average South Africans, we have to understand that we have a two set of systems, and there is no way that Paul Mashatile was going to allow these people to be thrown in jail. These people are doing his dirty work. There is no way that Paul Mashatile was going to allow these people to go to jail. But can you just imagine, man, the South African Police Service says that that is not assault. That is not assault. The video that I just showed you, it is not assault, according to the South African Police Service. Then if that is not assault, I think many people should be released from jail. Many people should be released from jail because there are people that are arrested for doing less than that. If the VIP protection team of the Deputy President can go out and beat up people like that, and the South African Police Service will come out and say that is not assault, I think many people should actually be out in jail. They should be out in jail. Because this is how the South African Police Service says that, this is why the South African Police Service says that it is not an assault. It is shameless. It is shameless. So obviously the Democratic Alliance is working overtime and trying to stop the corruption of the ANC. And I remember yesterday on social media, Panyaza Lesufi tried to make fun of Democratic Alliance, to say that no, the Democratic Alliance are always in the courts, and the people would say no, they are always in the courts because they are trying to stop your recklessness and your corruption. So in this article, it says that the DA wants a review of South African Police Service disciplinary regulations after 8 VIP protection unit members acquitted of assault charges. Party police spokesperson Ian Cameron said that their acquittal in an internal disciplinary for the violent assault that was caught on camera reinforced the perception that the VIP units accounted to nobody. They only account to Paul Mashatile. I mean, like, let's be fair. They only account to Paul Mashatile. The Democratic Alliance wants a complete review of the police's internal disciplinary regulation after 8 VIP protection unit members were acquitted of assault charges. The party expressed outrage at the police acquittal of the 8 officers attached to Deputy President Paul Mashatile, who were accused of assaulting civilians on N1 highway in Johannesburg 2 years ago. Party police spokesperson Ian Cameron said that the acquittal in an internal disciplinary for the violent assault that was caught on camera reinforced the perception that the VIP units accounted to nobody. Quote, "It is disgraceful to It is a disgraceful outcome. It's an embarrassment to the South African Police Service, and it's an indictment on the management of the South African Police Service. We have requested a full review and overhaul of the police's internal disciplinary regulations. We will obviously zoom in on the relevant legislations too. This is what Ian Comeron says. It is a disgraceful outcome. It's an embarrassment to the South African Police Service, and it's an indictment on the management of the South African Police Service. We have requested a full review and overhaul of the police's internal disciplinary regulations. We will obviously zoom in on the relevant legislations too. The 8 members are currently out on 10,000 bail each, and their court case continues in the Randbank Magistrates Court. I'm like, this is a shame, man. This is a shame. So Ian Cameron also went on television, man, to make a point, not only by the Democratic Alliance, but for the sane people, man, in this country, to say that there is no way that you guys gonna say that those people are. There's no way that these people can be acquitted. There is no way that these people should be acquitted. These people should actually be held accountable. But unfortunately, this is the ANC. The ANC knows nothing about accountability.
The chairperson of Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Police has criticised the acquittal of the 8 VIP protection officers accused of assaulting a motorist on the N1. Cameron says he now plans to write to the Minister of Police and the National Police Commissioner to demand an explanation for the outcome. The officers assigned to protect Deputy President Paul Mashatile were captured on video dragging a man from his vehicle and assaulting him at the side of the busy highway. Cameron joins us now live from Cape Town. Ian, good morning to you and welcome to the program. Thank you so much for your time. You have said that this is shameful, this decision is shameful and immoral. What do you think exactly about this decision undermines the pursuit of justice?
Thank you very much. I think it's a third.
And guys, before Ian actually answers this question, can you just imagine the incidents that are not caught on camera? How many incidents that are not caught on camera? Because if it wasn't for those people that were driving behind the motorcade of the deputy president that actually caught those people assaulting the civilians on the road, can you just imagine how many incidents that actually took place that were never recorded on camera? Can you just imagine? Because it is clear as day that this is how Paul Mashatile conducts himself. Because looking at that video of the motorcade of Paul Mashatile driving at oncoming traffic, it was clear as day that Paul Mashatile gives no damn about the rule of law. He gives no damn about the rule of law. So don't listen to him when he tries to make it seem like, no, I am for the rule of law and I want to be the president of this country. If Paul Mashatile becomes the president of this country, this might be the biggest mistake that this country has ever made. We have already made a huge mistake by the past 2 presidents. If Paul Mashatile becomes the next president of this country, we are literally done. We are literally done.
Ian, good morning to you and welcome to the program. Thank you so much for your time. You have said that this is shameful, this decision is shameful and immoral. What do you think exactly about this decision undermines the pursuit of justice?
Thank you very much. I think it's a total miscarriage of justice, and you know, there's one yes or no type of question and answer that I would like to ask the South African Police Service management, and which I will ask them, and that is it okay for a member of the South African Police Service to assault an innocent civilian anywhere in the country? Yes or no? And according to this disciplinary, the answer is yes, it is okay. Because it seems that when you're in the South African Police Service, especially attached to the unit protecting the president or the deputy president, you can act with impunity. So it's very embarrassing. As you correctly said, I said it's shameful. And we will now write to not only the minister, but also the management of the South African Police Service to understand how on earth this is possible.
We've also reached out to police authorities and we're told that they are studying this and they will respond in due course. So we'll be waiting for that with great anticipation. But Ian, in your view, was this a failure of the internal, or a reflection rather, of the internal weaknesses within SAPS's disciplinary processes?
Yes, certainly. It's a major failure. It's not the first time that something like this happens, and it really is extremely frustrating to see the way in which it also wasn't communicated to us as the portfolio committee or as Parliament. You know, we've been inquiring about this for quite some time. We've been asking so many questions regarding the specific issue, and we were ensured by the management of the South African Police Service that we would get the relevant feedback timeously. Now, this acquittal was already done on the 7th of April. So the fact that they only now need to start studying the decision of the acquittal is extremely worrying, because that tells me that on a national level for human resource management, they are not monitoring the serious cases as closely as they are meant to. It also shows me that they don't have a case management system, and it also shows me that there's a lack of earnest when it comes to the removal of rogue police officers. And these officers are rogue. And I challenge them to take me on for saying that, because what they did is blatantly criminal.
Do you then believe that there might have been political interference in or protection involved in how this case was handled, especially considering that the officers were attached to the deputy president's detail?
I mean, like, of course, man, you know, some of the questions that are being asked by the media, man, I sometimes I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Some of the questions that are being asked by the media, like, of course, like, there's political interference, man. Like, of course. I don't understand, man. You know, sometimes when I watch these interviews, I get frustrated, man, because, and I think people like Ian Cameron actually have a patience. They have a patience to actually answer silly questions that are obvious. They're like this is silly right now. This is silly right now. This is silly.
I would not be surprised if there is some kind of political interference. Now, the reason I say this is, one, because they're attached to Paul Mashatile's unit, and Paul Mashatile's close protection detail has been in quite a few controversial incidents. You'd remember that last year they were caught assaulting innocent members of the public in Khayelitsha when he trespassed on someone's property. And
oh, I forgot about that. Jeez, I forgot about that. You remember that, guys? I think it was during the elections when Paul Mashatile's team basically stopped a man from coming into his own house. These people, they literally assaulted a man from trying to get in his own house. And this guy was so furious, and he ended up chasing them out. Like, these people are rogue, man. That's why I'm saying that we have to think about the incidences or the incidents that are not caught on camera. Can you just imagine how many incidents that are not caught on camera? Because every time when Paul Mashatile and his VIP team are on camera, they are doing something foul. Every time. Paul Mashatile was sitting like this in someone else's lounge while his VIP security was trying to stop the man of the house from getting in. He was sitting like this, like a king. Unbelievable, man.
Went into someone's house without any permission. The second one was where they recently were filmed driving into oncoming traffic. Yeah. The third was the so-called attempt on the life of the deputy president, which in my opinion was a total sham. It was a political campaign. And it really is concerning then to see that a unit like this can then obviously do as they please. What the second part that is concerning to me is the person that signed off on the letter that was a response to Action Society's prior application regarding the disciplinary process against the 8 members. And that is Major General Wally Roeder. Now, he himself has been questioned regarding the non-reporting of the Pala incident. You'd remember the scandal in Poland not too long ago when they were all stuck in an aeroplane because of several reasons. And now this again. So it does seem like Presidential Protection Services in the South African Police Service is a little bit of a police service on their own, almost like a political Gestapo or a political police service just for a few elite persons.
What you're describing there, what you just said, and the words that you use, Ian, certainly send a chill down one's spine, and therefore it makes the response from the relevant authorities even more critical. I want to circle back to the fact that you said you've intended to write to both the Minister of Police and the National Police Commissioner. So what is the exact demand you're making of them?
So they would need to come and answer. Look, we will soon be in a process of reviewing the South African Police Service Act. So there's a process in there where we need to ask very critical questions of disciplinary processes, the involvement of unions. And don't get me wrong, unions play a critical role in some of these types of matters. But it seems in this specific case and several others as though they are acting as defense lawyers instead of fair labor representatives. So we need to consider that. And then we also need to consider the status quo as it is currently, where we see serious offenders sometimes being found guilty in a court of law, still being allowed to serve in the South African Police Service. If we're serious about cleaning up, we need to do that. So those are the types of things we will review. And then obviously, on a more short-term basis, we will be questioning the decision itself. We will be questioning the process and the way it was run, and also try to get to the bottom of who influenced it in a certain way, because I cannot believe that this was done without influence. If it was done without influence, it means that the very people running the process are completely incompetent. So it's one of the two. Yeah. This is certainly not a process that was run by competent individuals or people that are serious about cleaning up the South African Police Service.
So when you say questioning, and as you've already outlined, you've written for a response from the ministry and from the National Police Commissioner. But what legislative actions, I mean, what scope is there for either reform or legislative actions that you believe?
I don't know, guys. Maybe I'm skeptical of this journalist, but it sounds as if she's trying to give the other team a heads up about what Ian Cameron wants to do. Like, she wants the specifics of everything. And Ian Cameron is trying to get a gotcha on these people. But if you listen to some of these questions, man, it's almost as if she's trying to give the other team a heads up to say that, guys, this is what is coming and we need you to prepare yourselves. I don't know if it's me or what, but listening to her actually demanding such specifics, I would be quite concerned if I was Ian Cameron. I would be quite concerned listening to her questions, because I don't want to lie, it sounds like she wants to give the other team a heads up.
Parliament should be prioritizing, not only in this case, but to prevent something similar happening ever again, because you said right at the very beginning, this sends the wrong message to the public. It also sends a wrong message to these VIP protection guys that they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, so I think the use of force specifically needs to be questioned when it comes to legislative amendments. We need to zoom in on the use of force by police. Not saying that force shouldn't be used, but we need to define when and how it is used. And don't get me wrong, I'm not someone that wants to flood police operations with bureaucracy and red tape. But it is important that something like this can certainly not be allowed or even considered to be okay in any way. Think about it this way. If we look at the procedure, the so-called procedure by those very members, there was no crime scene. They didn't cordon anything off. No one followed up on it. There was no report of an incident afterwards. If it were not for a civilian that filmed it, chances are we would never even have found out about it. So it tells me that there was no intent to follow up on any kind of criminal act or any kind of transgression or threat to the deputy president. It tells me that it was a blatant act of vigilante. I don't even want to call it vigilante because there was no reason for the altercation. So those are the types of legislative amendments that we need to make in order to prevent something like that occurring again.
What's your quick and final message this morning, Ian, to South Africans who are feeling outraged, who are feeling disillusioned, but also fearful in light of what's happened?
Well, I think it's important that we say we don't lose hope. It frustrates me tremendously. So I understand the frustration amongst South Africans. But it's important that we exhaust every single remedy to our disposal and that we don't stop questioning it. And it's critical that whether it's through the media, social media, that South Africans keep on sharing the message. We need to expose every type of incident like this, and we must demand accountability. It's not going to happen overnight, but I can tell people that we really are working extremely hard to push back against ludicrous decisions like this one.
All right. Ian Cameron is the chairperson of Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Police. Thank you very much for talking to us this morning. Appreciate your time. We must also remember that the matter is still before the Randburg Magistrates Court, so we'll continue to watch that story for you. In just a moment, we'll be looking at South Africa's 2025 Easter road crashes.
And I trust Ian Cameron to get some answers, man. You know, if it wasn't for the DA, man, can you just imagine how much the ANC would actually be getting away with? Because these are type of the topics that you would think other political parties would actually be there, demanding accountability, to saying that, guys, there's absolutely no way that something like this could actually be allowed to happen. But if you look at some of these things that the ANC is trying to do, or some of the heinous things that the ANC has done in this country, it is only the Democratic Alliance that keeps taking these people to the courts. But other political parties are nowhere to be found. Like, it actually makes me question the intention of these other political parties. Are these people actually serious about representing the people of this country? Are these people actually serious about protecting the people of this country? Because if they were, why are they quiet about some of the most horrendous things that the ANC does? Why are they not holding some of these comrades of the ANC accountable for the things that they do? They say nothing. They say absolutely nothing. But before the elections, they will be around saying that, guys, please vote for us, please vote for us. But they are doing nothing. So shout out to the DA, man, and also shout out to the EFF. I know that even the EFF, man, is trying its best to try to take the ANC to the courts for some of the things that they do, man. So shout out to these two political parties, man. You know, I honestly wish that the EFF and the DA can work together more, man. These political parties, if they can work together, man, I'm sure a lot would be achieved in this country. I know it is quite unpopular with some of the people, but this is what I'm saying, that if these two political parties can work more, because if you look at the EFF and if you look at the DA, as much as these political parties do not like each other, as much as the supporters of these political parties do not like each other, but when it comes to the things that are happening in this country, I think these political parties actually have a more to agree with than disagree with. This is how I see it. This is my opinion. I think these two political parties actually see most of the things the same. It's just that they will never agree. The EFF will never agree to saying that we see the things like the DA, how it's seeing things, because the EFF, it is supposedly a revolutionary political party, so they know that they will be criticized for siding with the racist. And the DA, no, man, no. We cannot say that we see things the way that the EFF does. But you remember that Helen Zille once said, Helen Zille did say that the only competition for the DA in this country, it is the EFF, because the EFF, it is the only political party besides the DA that actually knows what they want, that knows what they represent. The other political parties are just free-floating. This is what Helen Zille said, that I respect the EFF because the EFF, they know exactly what they want. The EFF knows what they want. So if these two political parties can work together, I'm sure, man, if they could just put these racist and what things on the side, man, and just work together for the betterness of this country, a lot could be achieved. Just look at how they managed to force this ANC to reverse that insane VAT hikes. Just look at how they did that. But still, they did not want to acknowledge that we work together. But fine, we can see them. We can see them. I don't know, guys. So please tell what you think on the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button, and the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.